what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings. What they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's peace be bestowed unto you, hopefully elect. Your brother Yahweh called from Great Millstone, Orlando. Basically, this first clip, it's just going into the showcasing of how AI has turned Wi-Fi routers into cameras. So basically, in other words, Esau, he's watching. All right. And even more so, the prophets. Being that we're under Trump's administration, as it appears, and Lord willing, this is the case, and may it continue to be the case. Under Trump's administration, Esau's locking in. Under Trump's administration, from the militarization, Palantir, and so on and so forth. Like I said, and as I hope, Esau, he's locking in, he's zoning in, like that eagle's eye. We'll grab this in Obadiah 1. Obadiah 1, verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And like I said, Esau with that eagle's eye. You see, it's no coincidence. America's symbol is the eagle. A stubborn bird that flies high and pretty much sees low. And through the power of his technology, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has given certain of this technology so that he can ultimately fulfill prophecy. Because again, Esau, he's making moves. The devil knows that it has but a short time. More and more, as I said, and as I hope, he's coming down. He is about to come down with that great wrath. Mainly to come against the prophets, to take the men of the Lord off the streets. Revelation. Salakia. I am a bit under the weather. Revelation 12 and 17. And the dragon going into Esau in this beast system, which, like it says in Revelation 13. Matter of fact, I'll jump to that real quick. Revelation 13. I'll start at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which had, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Because America is nothing but a regeneration, revitalization, or regurgitation of the ancient pagan Roman Empire. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Going to the bombs that were dropped on Ammon, the so-called Japanese, which this is considered a great wonder, because at that time the world has never seen a power like that. But again, how was he able to accomplish such great power that established America as the world superpower? It came by way of his technology. As I said, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua has given Esau certain technology certificates to be able to ultimately fulfill prophecy. So it says, verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by its wound and did live. Again, going back to this system. As it reads in verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So how is he bringing this image to beast, this image of the beast to life? It just come by way of technology, the advancement of his technology. And again, Esau, more and more, he's locking everyone into this system. All right. And it's all about tracking, tracing, again, having that eagle's eye view, that eagle's eye, being everywhere at once. That's why going back to Revelation 12. And 17 again, and the dragon, again, going into Esau in this system, was wroth with the woman, going into the remnants. Well, it says, and went to make war with the remnants of her seed, which kept the commandments of the Heavenly Father and had the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. So, ultimately it boils down to war between the elites on the right hand, the elect, the aristocrats, those 144,000 men, those that are here on the earth right now, and the elites on the left hand. You see, but mind you, we're behind enemy lines. All right. So with that being said, there's going to come a lot of this surveillance. All right. And things of that nature. One thing will lead to another. Esau, he will make his move, but that's all right, because when he does make his move, that standard is going to be lifted. But as of right now, more and more, Esau, he's coming in, all right, and he's making moves, you see. So with that being said, I want to go to this, as this was a video sent by one of my head brothers, Isaiah, from my camp.
That was Tony Atkins reporting. Unveiled 3 years ago now, the Orlando Police Department's crime center continues to be a game changer.
As West 2's Gail Pascal Brown reports, that's because police are not just patrolling in the streets, they're patrolling virtually too.
Orlando police officers and crime scene detectives work hand in hand to ensure safety in downtown Orlando. Here are 2 cases of how the teams operate. Crime Center detectives observe a fight at the intersection of Magnolia Avenue and Central Boulevard in downtown Orlando on August 15th. This happened at 2 in the morning. One guy gets knocked out, and then it appears this woman takes his wallet. The Crime Center quickly alerted officers with much detail of the suspects and the direction they fled. Minutes later, Orlando police arrest 30-year-old Ahmad Hansford and charge him with battery. 30-year-old Ashley Weeksbury was also arrested, charged with robbery.
Good evening. At approximately 1:30 a.m., our Crime Center detectives were watching the intersection of Origin Central.
The Crime Center was also instrumental when a fight broke out in front of the Thrive Cocktail Lounge and Eatery on South Orange Avenue on April 20th.
Headquarters, you got shot fired around.
So, like I said, this video was sent by the brother Isaiah in the chat. But I'm trying to find this precept. The Wadi al-Basim Shai. But the point that I wanted to get from this video, because mind you, this is downtown Orlando. In this area,
2 cases of how the teams operate. Crime Center detectives observe a fight at the intersection.
this is exactly where we teach at. This is exactly where we teach. And again, a part of Trump's push, the narrative, because as I read in Revelation 13, having those horns, or Slakia, speaking as a lamb, right? 2 horns as a lamb. He spake as a dragon. Because in the name of safety, security, the fact that there's all these cameras, there's cameras everywhere. And again, for the most part, people believe that it's to fight crime, to watch crime, and things of that nature. Right? But a part of Trump's narrative as of right now, and that's why, again, that Revelation 13, he's speaking as a lamb. He's portraying himself to be on the behalf of the people. Right? Because with this whole crackdown in D.C., I believe Trump he was just giving a speech today, if I'm not mistaken, or a press conference. And he was going into how, again, it's a part of his narrative, how with the militarization, all right, basically a soft form of martial law that's been taking place. Crime has been going down. They're seeing an increase in crime and things of that nature, and people are cheering him on. People are cheering him on. And he was also making a point about how because this is pretty much a test pilot as of right now. Because on that same note, he was also mentioning how this is going to spread as far as the militarization. All right. More and more of these crackdowns, it's going to spread to other states, which, as has been said for many years, start from the apostles of Great Millstone and the bishops. America will go under martial law. All right. We're already seeing a soft form of that. You see. So with all that being said, like I said, man, Esau, he's collecting data, he's watching, he's waiting, he's sitting back, he's lurking like a lion. That he's just sitting back and waiting. He's watching. Jeremiah 5:6. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Everyone that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased. So again, with all these cameras, like I said in this video here, Esau, he's watching. That's exactly where Great Millstone, Orlando, that's exactly where we teach. That's our camp spot. So, Esau, he's watching. He's waiting. He's surveilling. He's collecting all this data, all this information, so that when he does make his move, all right, I mean, only Yahweh Bashim Shai knows how it's going to play out. But as brothers say, we just stay ready, so we won't have to be ready. We understand. 3 o'clock in the morning, our doors can be getting kicked in. Which that leads me to this video here.
The Trump administration stating that no one is above the law as the FBI raids John Bolton's home this morning. You can see the agents here making their way in. They also raided his offices. This seems to go back and stem to the first Trump administration. When Bolton left in 2019, he was at odds with Trump. And that was all postponed during the Biden administration. They put everything on hold for political reasons. But Kash Patel and Trump now saying no one is above the law and targeting him here in this case. It's also worth noting that earlier this year, John Bolton had his security clearance yanked from him in all levels. And it appears that whatever he's doing here is marked as classified. So obviously they're not going to come out and say too much more about the details of this. But what we do know is it goes back to where he was working with Trump and his administration and basically was fired and kicked out. And a lot of people have seen this guy as being just a big war hawk the whole time and just a deep state type of actor, which is interesting because without a doubt the Trump administration is going to use this to the fullest extent to say, hey, look, see, we're going after people. But a bunch of the rest of us over here still want to know what's going on with all the pedophiles that are being protected. Crickets on that, huh? Well, join me for the live stream where I break this down in further.
And again, this is why I read that Revelation 12. Because truth is out there. All right. And again, people are praising Trump for the raiding of this guy's home, John Bolton. These two have pretty much been going back and forth, talking shit one to another. Supposedly this guy has been giving up top secret information, selling top secret information, or whatever the case may be. But of course, to those of us that know, it's all a ploy. Because like my man's D7 said, what about all the pedos and things of that nature? This could be a sleight of hand. We are all aware. The two feathers on the same bird. We're all aware. So again, that's why I read that Revelation 13, because people are praising Trump for this raid. You see, but Again, this is why Esau, he's going to eventually have to make his move. Because for truth's sake, he's lost the information war. All right. Go to this. Because this is, they're saying this is going back into, what was that, Trump's first term. You know, he talked big talk about cleaning out the swamp and things of that nature. Right. So, you know, this is supposed to be a part of him cleaning up the swamp. Supposedly taking out his enemies and things of that nature. Right. But to me, it's just another test run for what they're going to do to the men of the Lord. Because again, Esau, he's watching. I'm going to grab this. 2 Kings 6. 2 Kings 6. And 13. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host. And they came by night and compassed the city about, all for one man, Elisha. All right. Spies were sent. Basically, the military was sent to spy on and encamp about Elisha. And then when you go on to read the account in this account about Elisha praying that the servant, the young man's eyes were being opened. And this is where the saying goes, the scripture goes, there's more with us than there is with them. You see, so just making the point about how, again, Esau, because again, with his technology, all right, it's not far-fetched. The possibilities, I'm not going to say they're endless, because there is a cap to what Esau can do, but it's not far-fetched. That's why I played that first clip. All right. But Esau, he's watching, he's spying. All right, he's sitting back, he's waiting, collecting information, intel for when he makes his move. All right, I believe, just speaking as a man, this is just a little test run for what they're gonna do when they come down with that great wrath against the men of the Lord. Right. So 2 Ezra 16. I'm gonna start at 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you meat idle with things offered unto idols. Because right now you have it is not sounding so crazy, right? This whole Alcatraz detention center in Florida, out here in Florida, and people talk shit at the thought of concentration camps and things of that nature, but these so-called conspiracies are turning out to be fact. You see, and now more and more places or states are talking about these Alcatraz type of detention centers. You see, you know, it's coming down to the wire. All right. That's why the scriptures say, tell us to be sober. You know, just staying circumspect, being vigilant, redeeming the times, understanding the times that we're in. And this lines up with Revelation 12 and 12 as well. Because it mentioned the burning wrath of a great multitude that's kindled over you. And like it says in Revelation 12 and 12, the devil's getting ready to come down with that great wrath. You know, so these two scriptures line up. It says, And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in a reproach and trodden underfoot. No one's going to be able to say that they didn't know. The elect are not going to get caught off guard. As I always say, we are warned so that we forewarn. So that's why we're expecting. We're bracing for impact. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So you see, Esau, he has to remove the prophets off the streets. All right. This is where Esau's zoning in on. Esau, he's setting all type of laws into place. He's setting up the groundwork. He's been setting up the groundwork. And he's caving in. He's enclosing. All to come after the men of the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So you see, man, because again, Esau, he's tracking, tracing, surveilling, gathering information. He knows where everyone is. And it's just a matter of the right event for him to drop the hammer and make his move. So, again, we stay ready so we won't have to be ready. Lord willing. Esau, he's in closing. And the environment is about to be real different here real soon. Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully, like.